we're out here at the lake. So he's getting all his gear ready right here, and I've got the Nomad all ready to go right here. And I went ahead and put everything together, but I want to get his first impressions on this. Of course, he came out here with last year with the Nemo, and so he knows how these systems work. But I want him to see this one and let him get his thoughts on it before we get in the water, and then we'll share more with you afterward about what he thinks about it, and then we'll do that final wrap up and that final review of the Nomad system. But I really have really enjoyed this since I've had it, and I appreciate Blue for letting me use it, send it my way, let me use this thing. But anyway, let's get Craig's thoughts on this thing, just first impressions, looking at it and getting a feel for it, what he thinks of it.
Just want to thank Steven out here for bringing me on a second time to give another review of this dive system from was it Blue Nemo?
Yeah,
Blue Nemo. It's a pretty cool looking concept. Like I said, the last time I kind of got like a little bit of time messing with it, but obviously they come out with a new, was it 30 foot?
It's 30 foot.
30 foot system.
The actual hose itself is 40 feet long.
Okay.
But it allows you to go 30 feet.
First impressions, like I said from last time, I think it kind of fits like a little niche type of a diving that some people would, you know, kind of do, what have you. Some things that, you know, first impressions that I would like to see on here, you know, from a safety standpoint, is this is the only tether system you have, right?
That's correct.
On your body. I think something that would be a really good idea moving forward on something like this is having an actual dedicated umbilical tether that would actually attach to the unit itself and follow the length of the hose to the regulator.
Yeah.
That way, if this rubber ever degraded or broke, you'd have a secondary form of tether to get back to the unit if you had an emergency. You know, if there's some silt and you couldn't really see where you're going, that's a cable you could follow back to safety. I think something like that would be cool. Also, not nitpicking, I don't know what the fasteners are, but it'd probably be nice for longevity standpoint. If, like I said, I could be speaking out of turn, I don't know, but it appears, or you know, that might be nice to have some stainless hardware on here for, you know, a little bit. Yeah, yep. You know, if you're doing a lot of saltwater diving.
Yeah, saltwater.
But first impressions, that's all I'm kind of seeing that I would probably like to have on the unit, just from a safety perspective. I haven't got to review the training. I know you said there's a training video you have to watch before. Correct. Was it before they sell it to you?
No, they sell it to you, and then they kind of send you the link. You get an email, say, hey, thanks for the purchase. You know, make sure you watch this link that go through the training scenario and everything, go through the entire computer-based training type.
And we were talking on the way here, given that this is a 30-foot length of hose, you're starting to get close to that first atmosphere. Something that would be nice in the training, if, like I said, I haven't viewed the video, so I could be speaking out of turn on this, is if you have to do an uncontrolled descent, if you have to dump your weights, a diving technique that's hot is, because you're wearing a wetsuit, you could get an uncontrolled descent scenario and kind of flare your body to create resistance in the water to try to slow your ascent rate. I don't know if that's taught, but that's a concept I would look into if you particularly start using this unit because of the length of hose. You're getting where you're going to probably start needing to exhale as you're ascending once you start getting this deep. But other than that, I think it's a really cool concept, and it's actually it's really cool to see something like this in person, and it's going to be neat to see how it operates in the water.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I tell you what, let's go get in that water. So our intent for this video was just to be a review of the Blue Nomad diving system. Now, I did have my pulse dive, but I did not have any intent on finding anything specific. So I took it down just to goof with it, but for the majority of this video underwater is just me using it and Craig seeing how it works as he watches me use it. We come in for a little break. Craig didn't have his, he didn't have all of his, you know, his tanks filled up all the way. So, hey, what percentage do you think that tank would have been at the start? Like when you went in, how much can you put in them?
Well, 3,000 PSI.
About 3,000?
I started about 900.
Okay, so he started about 900, and you can put around 3,000, he said. So, we were in there maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes, I guess. So he's changing out his other tank real quick, and we'll jump back in. But
hey, if you want me to grab the pink tank, that's got 3,000 PSI.
He's got a pink tank for his wife, and it's got 3,000 in it.
You want me to grab it?
No, you don't have to. But anyway, so he's gonna get that changed out. We're gonna get back underwater. So it's been fun so far, though. It's neat. It's neat diving with somebody. It's fun diving with somebody else. I've dove by myself, you know, and it's fun, you know, you get down there and find stuff, but it's fun to be able to dive with somebody else. So, anyway, let's go back under in a minute. All right, guys, so we got finished up, and man, it's always fun getting in the lake. And you know, I've been diving by myself some, and I told you that already, but man, it's so much funner diving with somebody else. Dove with Chris 2 weeks ago on the video you saw, just dove with Craig. It's a lot funner with somebody else, and I always have fun in the water regardless. But the bLU NOMAD, it's a great unit for, you know, those shallow dives. I know that a lot of people down in Florida use them, that they're on the coast, that clear water. This is the clearest water you're gonna find in South Carolina, up here at Lake Jocassee. And so we was able to go down there, and hope you saw those bass. I hope that got on video. That was a big old bass down there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
some big ones.
If I got them on my camera too, hopefully.
Okay, good. So between that, hopefully you got some good shots of the bass. But anyway, I'm gonna pretty much just let Craig kind of take over from here. Y'all know what I think of them. I love them. I love the company. I love I love what they do. And but I'm gonna let Craig talk to you about this thing a little bit more detail, since he's actually seen it in its working order. So yeah, have at it.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, I think it's a cool unit, just like last time. I think it has its applicability for a lot of people. Having the 30-foot hose here really increases the selling point, in my opinion, to the end user. Like I said earlier in the video, I want to reiterate, I don't know how strong this hose is. I'd like to see Nemo either A, sell it with it, or make it an accessory of a complete 30-foot tether that would actually hook to the unit itself.
Yep.
Run down to the regulator or the harness here.
Mm-hmm.
That way you just have a second, you know, if you have a failure mode, you have a secondary form of getting yourself back.
Sure.
I mean, you are open water, so at the end of the day, you just have to surface. In reference to that, the 30-foot obviously is a big deal, right? Now when you scuba diving, that's the only kind of the pros are its portability, right? You know, I think you got a shot of panning over most of my equipment.
Yep.
You know, scuba diving is really, you know, equipment and, you know, intensive here. You know, you can get dive certified for around $450. Cheap equipment. I think Diver Supply sells some cheap, equipment for around, the price may have changed, probably about $600 something. You know, another $150 for a dive computer and stuff like that. And that's not counting your tanks and the maintenance intervals on anything. You know, if you buy cheaper regulators, they're normally going to run you about, a year before you have to have them serviced. If you buy nicer regs like Scuba Pro or Apex, they go about 2 years, or I believe 100 dives in between. Your tanks you have to have visualed every year, and hydrate every 5 years. You know, so you have a lot of equipment you have to buy outright and then maintain.
Yeah.
Portability, like I said, if you want to go somewhere, this thing wins, right?
Yep.
You know, you just pick it up. If you want to dive 30 feet, you can go, right? You don't have to worry about getting all this equipment and get it all serviced. I don't know what the service interval on this unit is. I like to know that.
If I can't remember what it is, but I'll put it at the bottom of the screen what the service interval is for the bLU units.
And something else though, one of the cons, and like I said, I haven't looked at the training videos or the manual or anything like that, so I'm coming in this with zero knowledge, and I could be again incorrect in my statements. But because this is a 30-foot unit and you got down to 33 feet, 33 feet, now we have to account for fresh and salt water, but give or take 33 feet is where you get your second atmosphere in diving. So realistically, you have to keep that in mind. I don't know if it's in the safety video, but once you pick up that first atmosphere, you should not, just pop up to the surface like you dove 10 feet in a swimming pool. There's a whole different type of complexity when you start going deeper than your second atmosphere, deeper than your first atmosphere. I mean, realistically, you should be safe anytime you go diving. You should never hold your breath in, regardless. When it comes to, and like I said, I don't, a lot of people probably don't use dive computers with these because they feel they're in that safety net where I can just do what I want to. I'd probably be more conservative in my approach on stuff like that. You know, if you could buy you a cheaper dive computer to kind of tell how long you've been down there. Sure. In your times and all that, and your depth. And the other good thing about a cheaper computer, it's going to help you ascend. It's going to give you those warnings and stuff like that. Whereas if you're just using this standalone, you should never ascend faster than your smallest bubble. That's kind of a good rule of thumb if you're not using a dive computer with this system. I think the dive computer would really complement this system. Just a cheaper one. I think Mayer sells a cheap dive computer, but in the end, portability, this thing wins. You don't have to worry about lugging tanks and all this gear. Service intervals, this thing wins. I only have to worry about one component to get serviced. I don't have to worry about all this other stuff. Now when it comes to freedom, I have a lot more freedom with my traditional scuba setup. I can go wherever I want, do whatever I want. I'm not tethered. I don't have to worry about a hose breaking. Now, I mean, I do, but not the tether to my rig up there. So I really see how this can fit a lot of things. Like me personally, I'd probably like to have one of these just on my own. If I want to go out there and do a real quick dive and I know I have 30 feet, it's something fun. Especially I see like in this area what would be really cool is boaters. That's how I got into scuba diving. My buddy and I, we take our boats out to the lake, and there's only so much suntan and swimming you can do, right? So that's how we got into diving, and having something like this to stick on the boat and you get bored, that would be really handy to
fantastic.
have. So I really see some really good really good ways how he's kind of not necessarily beat out but complement a scuba system. And also the other benefit to it is training, right?
Yeah.
When you take a scuba class, now you can do private lessons, and I think they're a little bit more expensive, or you can do the traditional lessons, but you know, that's taking time out of your day, right? You got to go to the shop.
Yep.
You got to do your pool sessions and your open water sessions and then the classroom portions. Some dive shops do it digitally, some of it, but you still have to go in and do your pool sessions and all that.
Yep.
Whereas this, you know, it's a time saver, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I can just take their training, get the unit, and go dive.
Yep.
So that's kind of another little data point, mind you, that, you know, people might want to consider is you don't have to invest as much time in utilizing this as you would scuba.
Sure.
But I would definitely tell people to really research, you know, take that training seriously that they have. I mean, really take that stuff to heart, because at the end of the day, it is fun, but taking on depth can get you hurt.
Yep, that is true. Yeah, that's something I noticed. We got to 33 feet, and because I didn't have the training, I actually didn't know. I was down there, and I told him this. We was down there at 33 feet. He showed me his dive computer, and I was like, man, we're at 33 feet. You know, I thought that, you know, I thought 30 feet was as far as I was going, but I'm at 33 feet, and I didn't know if I was going to have to stop for a little while, if we had to do something. I just kind of went off on him. I just said, I didn't know what to do, because we didn't have comms or nothing like that, so I couldn't say, are we good? We can go ahead and just ascend. And so we just, when he pointed back up, just go, you know, go back up toward the surface a little bit, you know, just following the, you know, the bottom. And so at that point, I just stayed with him, and we just, you know, goofed around down there a little bit. But there's some big old bass down there.
Oh, yeah. Now, do they actually, in their training, do they actually teach little hand signals and stuff like that?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
Y'all know that sometimes I'm good at just doing this. Well, this right here don't just mean, hey, this is cool, man, we're having a good time. It don't mean that in diving world.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have their training and the standards, but if you have a dive buddy and you actually know the person, you know, you don't need all the hand signals to kind of pick up the indicators if they're okay or if they're not. You know, I know Steven. I know that means I'm good. You know, even though that's supposed to mean I'm good. But that's good that they teach that.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, hey, I appreciate it, man. It's fun. We had a good time
we'll have to go out and do this again.
Yep.
Disclaimer. Number one, I've got 4 tanks. 2 are my wife's, 2 are mine. I'd already done a previous dive where I burn up most of my tank PSI, so I think I started both my tanks were sitting around 1,900 PSI. Number 2, if you look at the video, I dive full face mask, so you'll see a lot of bubbles coming. It looks worse than what it is. What it is, you know, having a little bit of a beard. You know, normally when I do a lot of diving, I'll trim this down and it seals better. Yeah. Or what a lot of guys use, they'll use a hood and they'll seal that. So disclaimer, it looks worse than what it actually is. So, you know, don't people see that, oh, I'm sure there's gonna be comments, look at his mask, there's all kind of bubbles coming out there. So
but he did go through both his tanks though. Yeah. And I will say the battery on this thing was at half battery, and as you see there, there's still two lights still left on that, the 4 lights. So when it's about half gone. And we were down in water, right at 30 minutes? Underwater about 30 minutes. So about a 30-minute dive, and I used half the battery, so an hour. Generally, that's what they say, about an hour on a battery. And I'm telling you, I'm going to get dive certified. Loy, I'm going to get certified, okay? So I know you're going to watch this video and you're going to bug me again, but I'm going to get certified. I just hadn't done it yet. So, but anyway, you can buy these things at Calico. You can order them straight from Blue, but you can also order those from Calico. And if you go through Calico, if you go down in the description, there's a little code down there. You might want to put that in if you order one of these. Now these are about $2 grand. Now the Nemo is about 1,000. This one's about 2,000 with a battery. And but other than that, that's where you can get them at. Blue, again, I want to thank you so much for letting me take this unit and use it, and just trusting me with it. And I've had a great time with it. And I just wish I could have got down to Florida with it and used it down there. But I'm telling you, I'm coming down there one day, and we'll come visit the manufacturing company down there, the actual building where y'all make these things. And I'm going to do a big tour, and I want to meet you guys, and maybe we can go out on the water sometime with them. But anyway, hey, I've had a great time, but it's time to go. So, hey, we hope you have a good day. God bless. We'll see you next time. And always remember to treat other people how you want to be treated.